the non-believers or ex-believers have their way of understanding. You have information to share. Everybody has information to share. Now, whether you agree or not, that's fine. But I think the main focus of this conversation is to have conversation, to be open to looking at different things. And for my
Well,
part, I'm kind of like the middle person, right? That can share insight to everybody. At least that was what happened last night. So I'm hoping that we can have respectful dialogue and not
well,
argue.
but that's my point. When you have conversation, the point of conversation is to go somewhere and take you somewhere. You don't
Okay,
have
that's true. But if you
conversation.
if you
Let me
present
explain.
facts in your
Hey,
conversation,
let him talk. Let him talk.
Easy,
Oh,
easy.
let him talk. Let him talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Let me explain, right? Let me explain.
Hold on. Let him.
If
He
I
was in the
ask,
middle of a sentence.
Let him
if
finish.
I ask,
Let him finish.
if I ask a Christian one
no,
thing,
hold up. You
right,
ain't gonna let me
about a
finish
certain
though.
scripture.
Let him finish, JP.
I'm just
Oh,
saying
oh,
when
oh,
you
my bad.
have
My bad. I can't
conversation,
really hear you.
when you have conversation, the point of conversation is to go somewhere or come to head. And if we're not doing that, then it's pointless.
Well, here's the
So
thing.
that's why I always
Having an
want to know
understanding
what's the
doesn't mean you
purpose.
have to agree. An understanding
I'm
doesn't
not
mean
speaking about
agreement.
agreement.
So
I'm speaking about where what's the objective of the conversation.
He feels like you're trying to convert him, which is unfair. You know, like
Who
convert him.
is?
That they're trying to convert you. You know, that's what I think you feel like. I'm not trying to
hey,
put words in your mouth.
I'm gonna say
I
for me, I got a hidden agenda, a very very hidden agenda, and it's gonna sound kind of fucked up, but at the same time, it's fucked up. Fuck it.
so what's
My agenda is, My agenda is right. I'm trying to
okay.
give black people or Africans who are trapped in America their history back, and in doing so, they're gonna realize that basically everything they've been taught is pretty much bullshit. Now, where you
But
come
hold
into
on,
play is hold on,
hold on.
hold on.
It can't be about forcing it down their throat, dude.
I'm not. No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. In conversation, if I drop facts and I ask you to, could you look that up, or if I say something that might interest you, you might go look it up on your own. But my objective is to get you, well, to push you back on, give you back your history, and where you come into play is right.
Okay.
I'm in a way using you to show other people kind of like the
But I think using
illogicability of the Bible. I don't know if that's a word, but that you see what I'm
So
saying?
let's
all right,
let's
hold
Like, hold on,
up,
hold on. I'm not finished though.
kid.
I'm not finished though.
easy.
And my questions, when I ask you questions, right? You either run around the question or you divert the
that's
question
false.
somewhere else.
Fact.
And
Fact.
most Christians that believe in the Bible
That's
do
true.
that because they cannot answer a direct question.
That's false. That's
And
false.
that
Nah,
let me
it's
ask me a question.
Okay, time out.
Ask me a question.
How about this? Time out. If I may make a suggestion.
I'm about to say I got a question for you.
For anybody who may be watching live now, and we've done no introduction, no, we nobody is like, what are all these people? Who are they? What are they talking about? Can we at least like introduce the topic of conversation and what our focus is for tonight, so we all know, like, have a base to go from?
Fine. I'll start it off. My name is Taiwan Lewis, aka Two Fly, and personally, I would like to discuss testimony as to why you believe what you believe, based on actual factual things that you've experienced in your life. I like that.
Okay. So everybody go around. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Twin.
All right, I'm Fufu. Yeah, this is my channel. I'm basically the facilitator of this dialogue right now. I'll pass it on to the next person.
So I'm Markel. I'm a believer in the Bible, and these brothers have asked me to come on. They want to hear from me, and I'm willing to share. I just want to understand what are we all getting from this, and what is the purpose. So either we see how we continue to move forward or not.
My name is Jesse, and really the reason I'm here is to get the truth to everything. I think that everyone has a little bit of what they know is true, and it's only by putting everyone's pieces together that you get a bigger picture of this existence. So I'm here to see all sides of the argument because I really believe that even someone who might not fully understand their religion still has if you've had an interaction with God, then you've had an interaction with whatever God means to you, and
Amen.
you can always take away something from that, and that's an experience you can share, and I want to hear as many of those experiences as I can.
Okay. Yeah.
For the person who just came in, can you hear us?
Yeah, what's up, y'all?
What up, John?
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, well, my name is James. Mezzy, homie, he basically just invited me to the group chat tonight. What was the topic? You said, does God have a purpose? Was that the topic?
It's going to be one of those topics, but you're on the right line.
The topic is personal testimony and why you believe what you believe to be true about God.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
I got a question for you when this is done.
We got introductions. We got to finish introductions.
All right.
Okay,
Well, good evening. My name, for those who don't know, is Danielle. I'm an interfaith minister, and my purpose here this evening is to offer perspective to both sides of the of the table.
Okay, and I'm Brother JP. So my purpose of this whole thing is to make sure that you guys look at this information. Not only that, but also bringing us together. Like, even if it takes this to bring us together, it's more of a dynamic than. So we came together on something like this. So imagine what we can do for our community. You know what I'm saying? So
I can dig that.
besides the religion, the real reality is within the community. So maybe we can get together and do something like that.
Can you send me the link on?
Can I ask my question?
Can I just get the link?
Hold on, wait, Chimezi.
Yo, JP, can I get the YouTube link?
Let me do this first, Chimezi. Just a quick question. Your objective was to address the history.
What?
Give us our history back. What does our history have to do with the Bible?
Our history, right? Our culture, right? Gave forth the Bible and Islam and Judaism, etc., 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 etc. I'm trying to give you back your history. So when you when you research your own history, you will find out where all these books came from. Because you will realize that African history was interrupted by European history. Period. That's it.
I don't think there's any debate about that specifically.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why?
Yeah, well, I think
what's the argument? That's all. That's my statement.
It wasn't. It really ain't no argument about that per se. I mean, if you really trace back history as far as even Africa has its roots in Hebrew.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, that's where we came from. The original black people, the first man on earth was a black man. We got that.
Right.
Facts. Okay. Now on to what we came to discuss.
Okay.
My
question to you.
Yes, your question.
Okay. Let me set up the scenario, right? Say I don't know what God is, right? I'm an infant, dumb to the world. I ask you, as a person who believes in this God, what is God? Now I understand we all have our personal experiences. I'm not asking for a personal experience. I'm asking for a definition of God.
Okay.
Definition of God.
Now, with the caveat, experience. We not what we came to talk about today. before I address your question. Okay, so to address your question, God is everything. God is everywhere. God is omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, all over the place. Right now, he's in your living room. Okay? I'm gonna tell you why he's in your living room. Because God, wait a minute, let me finish answering your question. Because I'm not gonna circle around. I'm not gonna duck your question. I'm gonna answer your question head on.
Okay.
Straight up and down to the point. If you're with that, I'm with that. Good? Okay. I'll take that as a yes.
Well,
So
your thing was breaking up.
okay, I was just asking you to make sure we good on that.
Okay. Yeah.
So okay. So just like you said, and I believe Miss Danielle said that earlier, that God is everything. God is in all things. He created all things for himself, right? So because he created all things with the purpose of pleasing himself, he put himself in it because he can only be pleased by himself. Are we in agreement? Those that believe, are we in agreement on that?
So God is a man?
God is in every man. The problem
No,
is with man
is God a man? Like
is God a man? God
not
came in
man
the
like a
form of.
man, but like a male.
I'm gonna let him finish.
Oh, okay. Let me answer that. Let me answer that. What does the Bible say? Let me answer the question. The Bible says, and I'm gonna quote the scripture. What was the other question? What's the other question?
My first question: what is? I need a definition of God.
Okay, I was
God
giving you the
is
definition of God.
I think he pretty much covered that.
I think I covered that as well.
I mean,
God is everything.
But
God is
you're
everything
asking
and
me as a person who doesn't know what you're talking about to expect you to tell me that God is everything. What is everything?
That's why I was breaking it down to you. That's why I was breaking it down to you before I was interrupted. But if I, if I'm going to be interrupted, then I can't completely answer the question. Correct?
I'm trying to let you finish.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. So again, God is everything. God is in everything. When you look at nature, God is in that. When you look at man, God is in man. God, why? Because the Bible said, let us create man in our image after our own likeness, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said, let us make man in our image, male and female. So I believe God is male and female. God would not put, even though we classify God as a he because of his male tendencies and his dominance as a king on the throne, as a master, right? We clarify and call him a male, which is fine. It's cool. When Jesus came down to earth, he was a man, right? He came in the form of a male, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I saw that you said something about my mother created me or something to that effect. In essence, that's kind of sort of true. But the problem is with that statement, it's a one-sided statement, right?
How?
Because because in the strength of the fact that man had to plant you into your mom as the seed in order for you to even be quote unquote created in the first place, you can't discredit the man. Let me finish answering your question before you give me anything. Sure, as soon as I finish, you can give me whatever you want. That's fine. So you have to understand that we are created as dual beings in order for us to become one, correct? In order to procreate and create another being, which is how you were created. Am I correct on that?
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that.
Okay. So let's quickly. I'm gonna give you a quick little tidbit of what I mean. So when Jesus was born, or when Jesus was created in his mom, what happened? God said, "I will plant my seed in the woman, not a man's seed," and that's how we got Jesus in the first place, right? So I'm just giving you I'm giving you a tidbit, something that you can go on to differentiate between difference between God's seed and man's seed. Since we're
Okay.
talking about what is God, but God being all powerful, God being all knowing, and God being ever present, right? He's in all, he is all, and he's everywhere.
Okay.
That's the answer to that question. Next question.
Now,
So hold on, real quick.
I'm still trying to deal with that question. I'm still trying to deal with his answer.
So hold on, Chitty. I want to hear this because you said people don't answer questions based on the way he answered that. Tell me what you understand God to be when you ask that question.
He lost me after he said God is nature. Now that I can understand. Now,
Even if he lost you, tell me what you understand God to be based on his answer.
I understood his perspective of God. Yes, I did. I very much understood this. That's what I'm trying to get a better understanding of his perspective by asking him these questions about what he just said. That makes sense?
No.
Markel,
I want.
All right.
watch the road.
I got a question. I got a question.
No, hold on, wait. Because he said we don't answer questions. So Ty answered his question. I
Okay.
want to know what he understands it to be.
I
don't wanna know where
understand.
he lost you. I want to know what you because you asked the question. So if you ask a question, then you want an answer. And if an answer doesn't make sense, you get clarity on that. So first, I want to find out
That's what I'm trying to
what
do.
you understand, and then where the disconnect is.
Okay. What I understand is, from what he told me, God is everywhere. God is a man. God
And
created
a
a man.
woman.
That's from what he said.
That's not what he said.
But
He said we refer to God in a male sense, but he did say, he said that he believes God to be male and female.
That's
Now,
a hermaphrodite.
okay, now
That's a
this is
hermaphrodite.
that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to get clarity on, right? Because you say
But
he
he
created
didn't
Adam.
say a man as in a human type person. He did say male and female.
Now we're playing with words.
No, we're not playing
So,
with words.
so the
There's a
first,
No,
difference.
we're being straight to the point.
hold on. The first human was named Adam, and that's that's a man. Am I right or wrong?
you've
In
been
what
reading the
Right.
Bible,
capacity or
huh?
That's
metaphor?
The first
that's
man's
You're
name was
going,
Adam.
the
you're
thing.
going too deep.
Here's
Hold
the
on,
We're
thing.
not
hold
talking
on.
about
Let's
male.
not deviate. The first man, his name was Adam. Right or wrong?
Let's ask this question. Let's ask this question.
Who are you asking? Me or
Did you say the first man was Adam? Correct. Where you going?
Correct. So God
Right.
made man, whoever man, male or female, first his name was Adam. So he made man first. Period. It says it in the Bible.
Right.
All right.
So if
Uh-huh.
God, what I'm gathering is that God is a man since he made man first. Now the reason he made Eve was because Adam was lonely. If
Right.
Adam wasn't lonely, there would be he would have no intentions of making Eve. He only made
right?
Eve
But
because
if
Adam was
Uh-huh.
lonely.
he
Am I right or
didn't
wrong?
know,
Wait, let him
Am
finish. Let him
I
finish.
right
Let
or
him
wrong?
finish. Let him
That's what
finish.
the Bible says, right? He made Eve because Adam was lonely.
yeah, he also
Right.
said, "Let us make man
Okay,
in
then
our image." So
that's fine. I'm not
he said,
arguing with that.
"Let us," and man should not be alone. He should make it help. What? How would that entity know how to make woman if it was not already female,
So
at
He
least in
made
parts?
Eve
if
because
woman,
he didn't want man to be
if
alone. If he,
but here's the thing.
uh,
So considering
What were
where
you
the
saying?
Bible is from, you're going to take that as literal.
I'm not taking none of this literal. But what I'm
So hold on.
If you're
I'm trying
using
to get
it
a
in an
clearer
argument,
understanding of his perspective of his religion. So when he
Well,
said now
let's clarify something. Let's clarify something
okay,
before we go even further. To answer the question, as far as yes, he made man and woman, right? They
right,
were one at first, but then he took the woman out of man, and then he
right.
made her own separate outside of Adam. To go to the next point,
okay, your
you
phone's breaking
said
up.
something else that's kind of
Your phone breaking up. Your phone breaking up.
You're breaking up a
you
little bit.
said
Your phone. Your stuff
the
messing up
the,
too,
the,
Clyde.
the service is kind of weird. But I was gonna say, as far as religion goes, I don't believe in religion. Okay, let me clarify when I say I don't believe in religion. Let me clarify that for you because I see your face. I see you smirking on me right now. Okay, let me explain what I mean when I say I don't believe in religion. And you probably know where I'm about to go with this because you probably heard it 1,000 times before. I have a relationship with Jesus Christ and God is the Father. Okay, so with that being said, I don't believe in a religion. When people ask me, "Oh, what denomination?" I don't have a denomination because there was never a such thing as a denomination when God created the foundation of the earth. When God created man, there was no religion, there was no churches. In fact, We as people, quote unquote, make the quote unquote church. So without the actual people there is no church. So I don't believe in a religion. I believe in a relationship. And my personal, and now we're getting actually, I'm going to go into the topic of what we're here to discuss in the first place is personal experience. So in my personal experience in dealing with this quote unquote religion, or better yet, this relationship, I've personally experienced God in a tangible way. I've personally seen healings. I've personally seen people we pray for in the name of Jesus be healed. A lady at my church, quote unquote church, had a broken foot where the bone is overlapping, and we send text messages out and say, hey, we got to pray for Miss Terry or whoever the person was, and we got to pray for them to be healed because they have a broken foot. And we pray in our own individual time, not in church, but in our own individual time, and those prayers get answered, and that woman comes back to church that following Sunday with heels on, and her foot is completely healed from that prayer. I've personally been healed in church from prayer when people laying hands on me in the name of Jesus. The same name, the same God that you all say that does not exist, I've tangibly seen him. I've tangibly seen angels in my awaking life. I've tangibly seen demons in my awaking life. So at the end of the day, for people to try to convince me of otherwise is a fallacy. First of all, it's silly to try to convince a believer that's actually had these experiences. Secondly, as a
So
person that has actually has had these experiences, looking at another person that hasn't had that experience, we feel compassion and sympathy for those people that have not had the experience, because it's an experience that you will never ever forget. And I don't know you personally, brother, and I know JP, you know what I'm saying? I know pretty much everybody except for you and the other guy that's on the line. However, my personal experience, right, has led me to believe that what I read in this Bible, from practicing what it says in the Bible, to be true, because I've seen it in action. I've seen the things that I read in the Bible come to pass by practicing what it says. So for a person that doesn't read the Bible to address me in a way to say, hey, that's not real, that's fake, or that's not, based on history and based on our roots as African people and all of those things. I'm not knocking you saying that the black man is the original man, but what I am saying that there's a greater power, there's a greater being that created the black man in his own image, after his own likeness, and in his power and authority in the earth, right? To make us kings,
I
to
got
make us royalty in the earth. I've seen him.
can
I've
all right.
experienced
So,
him.
Can I hold on. Let me address that right quick. So number one, I was raised Roman Catholic. So I've read the Bible.
Bless your
That
heart.
means nothing. What does that mean?
Bless your
What does
heart.
that mean?
hey, Ty,
First, that means
That means he knows.
I believe that word was point blank and period, fact, period. The guy walked the earth, literally walked the earth. You understand? That's what I was raised on.
Okay,
Right?
okay.
Until I start questioning where that shit came from, or the validity of what was being taught to me, is where everything starts to go left and right. Right? All right. So if I research the people in the characters in the Bible, right? Everybody has a story in the Bible, right? So if you research the people in the Bible, you do actual research and find out their story is not true. When you cross-reference through human history, in fact, you cannot find these characters anywhere written or any artifacts or anything, right? What do you? I mean,
Hold on a second. Let me ask you
question.
Let him finish.
Question something you're taught when you find fallacies in it.
Well, we can go there, but I want to ask this.
But akin to his testimonies, right? There's nothing in the Bible. There's nothing in the Bible that's specifically akin to your problems. Nothing. Because you have modern day problems. Hold on, but you have modern day problems trying to akin them to past literature. That's. I mean, people try to do that when they have nowhere else to go.
Example of a modern day
I see that as the people looking for a way out.
the question I want to ask.
Mentally looking for a way out. When you clean up, that's the way I see it. When things get so bad, you look for a mentally
Wait.
All right.
And at that time,
Okay, but let me ask you this. Let me say this to you real quick.
Ty, my turn, Ty.
Let me say this to you real quick, bro. My bad. Go ahead, bro.
Let's,
So,
let him finish. Let him finish. Go ahead.
so the question I had was, let's not look at the Bible for a second. Taiwan told you about his personal experiences. How can you discredit a person's personal experience?
I didn't discredit his
Okay.
personal experience.
But you said he taking modern day problems and equating them to what he read in the scripture.
I wasn't talking about him personally.
No, that was a general statement.
That was a general
Okay.
statement.
So let me ask you this. So
Okay,
that's
but
what
we're
I
not
wanted to
speaking
ask
in
you.
generalities tonight. We speaking in actual. We talking testimony, personal experience. This is the
Okay,
discussion.
let's go to that testimony
But
that
that's
you
why I
that you
wanted
that
to
you
ask
talked
you the
about with
question.
the lady in the church that got healed over a week. There's no
Okay.
way you sat there and watched that lady heal over a week to say that she did not go to or receive any type of medical treatment. There's no way you can say
But
that.
here's the thing.
But there's no way you
But
can
let me
say
tell
that.
you what I did see. I wasn't there. I wasn't at her doctor's office. But let me tell you what I did see.
Okay.
I saw that lady come into church with a cast on her foot, and then the following week on that next Sunday, she walked in with heels on. I know this lady to be a liar. Okay, and I personally was in that church and walked in the church throwing up. Didn't want to go to church that day. And when I walked out of that church, I didn't feel nothing except tired. There was no more sickness. There was no more pain. There was no more headache, no fever. Everything was gone. How do you explain that? We're
That's
not
probably
talking about the Bible right now. We're not talking
whatever
about the
you just
Bible. We're
had.
talking about no.
That's
We talking about
that's
actual factual events. So
Right.
you can go into the Bible. You can go into the Bible and say, oh, that was them. That was then back then. We don't have no personal experience with that. That's
Can
for
I,
you,
can I
right?
say
But
something?
for me, wait. I'm not finished. I'll be quick. But for me, my personal experience equates to what I read in the Bible because I experienced it, not because I read it and all of a sudden it
What
manifested
in the
itself.
Bible? What in the Bible did you read that you had the same experience that was in the Bible
Healing,
specifically?
life change.
Specifically,
I'm telling you specifically,
what
healings,
healing?
life
What
change,
healing? What
personal
specifically?
growth. You
That's
want
a
to know what I felt?
you can read any
You want to
book.
know what I
You can read
felt?
any book and says you can read any book and
But
get the
this is not.
same outcome.
This is
I'm
not.
asking,
This is no.
like,
No, you can't. You can't.
why can't you?
What? Tell
You
me
can read
another book.
Islam and
Tell me
you
another
can
book
read the
that you can
Quran and get
read.
the same outcome. What are you talking about?
Show me where.
hey, time
Where in the Quran?
time out. Markel left accidentally. He just texted me.
Oh,
So
Uh,
he said invite him in and also invite also focus.
hold on.
He should be able to use the same link that he used to get
Okay.
in.
yeah, he should be.
It's an ongoing
Okay,
call. He
look,
should be
look,
able to
look.
come in.
You guys give each other some time to rebut on what's
Thank you.
on who's saying what. You know
Can
what I'm
I
saying?
can I
So we
throw
can get
something in real quick?
everybody perspective on it. Jesse trying to say
Yeah. To me,
something. But I mean everything good, you know what I'm saying?
true. Um,
People. We're passionate people.
Go
JP,
ahead,
I
Jesse.
appreciate your comment.
Okay, so
so
yeah, so okay, this what I want to know. I want to know that okay, these experiences, and this what I hear from most believers,
Uh huh.
really seeing Jesus, angels and demons and stuff like that, right?
Okay.
So
Uh huh.
I asked myself, if this were true, the people that are suffering, is it because they're denying God at a young age, or they haven't, like, for the children that's suffering, do they not know God yet, or God hasn't said, oh, they haven't stepped 1 foot so I can step two? You know what I'm saying?
What
What's
does that
God's
what does that have to
what's
do with
God's
what the believers saw?
Let him finish. Ken. Let him finish.
No, because you said you seen him. If I seen Christ, I would be asking him, hey man, I got some people down the street, man, that need you.
Right?
I thought the FedEx guy was
If
coming.
I
Right.
seen him,
I thought the FedEx guy was coming.
if I seen him, I would say, Christ,
Can you tell
my
me?
Father, I need you right now.
Right?
There's some people down the street that need your assistance ASAP. I'm good,
Right.
and I'm glad you came. I'm glad you came. I need you. Walk with me down the street right quick. Why those people are not being healed? Is it because they're not reading the Bible? Or is it because they're not seeking more? Or is it because God hasn't chose them? What's that?
Well,
what
let
happens
me
about
ask.
them? We can't go on
Okay,
personal experiences. We have to
you
know
have to go on personal
God is
experience.
worldwide. Remember, He's worldwide.
Right. Let me answer your question. So to answer that question, it's all of the above. God has chosen them, but they haven't received the call yet. Secondly, as far as children have gone, children haven't, they are not at that age yet where they can say, or they haven't had that experience where they can actually fully say within themselves, I receive the Lord Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. And at the same time,
You have to be
God
taught that.
still no, Listen to me. I'm about to clarify that whole thing. I'm about to clarify. You do have to be taught that. The difference is, though, he still takes care of them. They may not have the ideal situation that you and I think that they should have. That's just like when I was growing up. My house was a crack house, right? My mother and my father was in jail most of my life, right? For several different types of crimes. So I didn't have the best of things, but I never missed a meal. And for those kids that miss meals, for those kids like in Somalia and all of these other places, you have to understand, when we talking the difference between religion and relationship, there's a spirit. Like, for example, let's talk about Haiti, for example, as personal experiences, right? I have a brother that's traveled to Haiti to do mission work, right? The reason why a lot of the things that go on in these specific areas is because there's a spirit that rests over these places. And a lot of y'all may or may not get this, but at the end of the day, it's the truth, whether you choose to believe it or not. There's a spirit that rests over places like Haiti and other places where there's a spirit of depravity. There's a spirit of debauchery. There's all types of evil spirits that rest over
What?
these places that prevent. Listen to me. Let me finish. You might
Come
agree with
on.
me. You don't have to agree with me. You want to know the answer to the question? To the question or not? I'm gonna answer your questions. I'm not gonna run around the question. I'm gonna tell you the facts. I'm gonna tell you the truth. For a person that has for me, okay, I'm gonna go back to me. I'm not even gonna talk about them. I was raised in a crack house. All my aunts and uncles was on drugs, and most of them, a couple of them, still are on drugs to this day, right? So I seen the worst things you could possibly see. I seen murder. I seen death. I seen poverty. I seen I used to go home, used to not go home sometimes because home was the most hottest place I could go. That was the most dangerous place for me to go sometimes, right? But guess what happened? The moment my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, prayed for me to make a change in my life, my wife prayed for me to get a mentor, a big brother, somebody that would help me to see the light, to show me, to help me God, because I didn't have no father, right? I didn't
But
have God at the
but
time, right?
but
Wait a
but
minute, let me
but
finish, let me finish, let me finish, let me finish. But guess what happened? When she prayed that prayer, it happened. And I got a mentor. I got a big brother that took over the reins of where my father was supposed to be and gave me the gospel.
all right. So all
Huh?
those stuff that you said that you acquired
Yeah.
with your girlfriend praying, who went to go get
Uh-huh.
who went to go do all that stuff? You or God?
Who went to go do what? Who went
Acquire
to
a
go
big
do
brother,
what?
et cetera, et cetera. Who went to go do that? You or God?
I didn't do it. I tell you that. It wasn't me. I
So
just
who did
ended
it?
up working somewhere. It was God. It wasn't me, clearly.
So
It clearly wasn't me because I didn't ask for
you're
it.
telling me it just so happened to fall in your lap? All it just fell in your lap?
That's not what happened. What happened is my wife prayed for it and God made it happen. Period.
How did it happen? It
So
just
hold
just
on.
Because
hold on. It seemed
because
like
I'm gonna
every
tell you. Let me
every
answer your
hold
question.
on, hold on. It seemed like every time I ask a believer or a spiritual person
Uh huh.
how, they seem
I'm
to
about to
skip
tell you the
the meat
story.
of the question and
I'm
skip to the
let me
very end.
I'm a okay. Now I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna break it down for you step by step. All right, is that cool?
That's
Okay.
cool.
So what happened was she prayed for me, right? And I work at NIH. I'm a veterinary technologist. I work for the National Institutes of Mental Health as a primate
You're not
vet tech.
you don't have to get specific. I'm just saying general, you know what I
Nah,
mean?
but you wanted me to answer your question, so I'm gonna tell you the story. I'm just giving you some background, okay?
Okay.
So when I started working there, right, I started in cage wash, moved my way up, got promoted. You know what I'm saying? Prayer answers all things. Let me be honest with you. So when she prayed that prayer, I was in a bad state of mind. I wasn't doing the things I was supposed to do as a father and as a husband. I wasn't married at the time, but I wasn't doing right. I was out here. Okay. So when she prayed that prayer, I ended up getting a promotion. Okay. In that promotion, I was working in 2 different buildings, right? I would go to one building in the morning to a supervisor that was a BI. Okay. This woman wanted to get me fired so bad. And so in the morning, I would leave that building. The second building was where I went to deal with her. The first building I went into was a building I had to deal with some mice. Okay. I deal with rodents. Okay. So the supervisor there, the 2 supervisors noticed how hard I was working, and they noticed the type of person that I was a good person, even though I was lunching out and doing a rack of crazy stuff outside of work, right? So when they saw that my supervisor kept trying to get me fired for stupid stuff because she was petty and they knew her, he pulled. This was a man of God, mind you. This is a man of God, a prophet. Okay, he saw me for who I was. He didn't see the stuff that I did. He saw me for who I was. And when he pulled me to the side because he knew that the lady was trying to fire me, he said, "Listen, what we could do is I can bring you back over here. You can stay in here full time as a caretaker versus being a tech. And you can learn. You won't lose no money. You'll just take a side step. So you'll move to the side and be in a different position, and we'll save your job because I see you. I see what you're doing. I see that you're a good person. You're a hard worker, and you a straight up brother. This and that and the third." And he was wait. Let me finish. So when he did that, I said, "Okay, cool." And I was happy as I don't know what. You talking about somebody that was boosted? I was boosted, bro, because I knew I wasn't gonna get fired. God had me. So then later on, as time progresses on, me and this brother, and matter of fact, it was a bunch of brothers in there, young black dudes, all from the hood. He was from the hood. He liked all of the stuff that I was into, boxing. He was in a go-go band. I was in a go-go band at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, we related on so many different levels, and he wasn't taking no stuff from me. And I was a dude that I wasn't backing down from nothing either. I'm going to smack at whatever coming at me. You feel me? And I would come at this dude like, "Oh, you a sucker, you a sellout, you moved from the hood, you ain't trying to keep it real with the homies, you basically one of them niggas." You know what I'm saying? That type of vibe. So when he saw that, he basically, every time I had a question or every time I came at him like that, he would shut it down with the smallest, little, simplest stuff, bro. And it would be like, "You right. I can't even believe I said that to you." So as time progressed, he just became a big brother type to me. And then he started giving me the gospel. When he started giving me the gospel, I had questions just like you do. I had disbeliefs. I had all of this stuff that I was like, "Man, I don't believe that. I don't this. The Bible is a lie. Blah 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 blah." And every time I had a question, he had an answer, a real answer, right? So over time, he said, "You know what, man? I started going to church. Me and my wife, she had convinced me to go to church, and I started going, and my life started changing, man. It was like so many different things happened to me, and God was blessing me with money. My family was doing well. Like I started seeing my family going to church and everybody getting their life together. And not only that, he introduced me to what was called the Holy Spirit, right? And so when he started telling me about the Holy Spirit, I didn't believe that. You know what I'm
But it
saying?
seems
And
to
I was
me,
just like, "What the heck is the Holy
hold on,
Spirit?"
hold
I didn't
on.
understand none of that, right? Wait. You asked me to answer your question. Let me answer your question, and you had the floor. I'm almost done. Bro.
Okay.
So when he started telling me about that, I said, "Okay." And so I prayed on it. I went to God and I said, "Okay." I prayed for the baptism of the Holy Spirit. In 3 days, he said, "I'm gonna fast for 3 days, and when I'm done with my fast, we gonna pray, and I'm gonna lay hands on you, and you gonna speak, pray with the evidence, speaking in tongues, and this and that and the third is gonna happen." I said, "All right, cool." I still didn't believe it, bro. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. I ain't believe it. I was like, "All right," but I still prayed on it, and I was open. You know what I'm saying? I just opened myself up to it. And I said, "You know what? Let's get it done." So we went in the feed room, bro, where we keep the food for the animals.
Uh,
Me and another dude, right? Wow, Slam, this was the weirdest experience I ever had in my life. So we went in that room, bro, and we started praying. He said, "Man, when I lay my hands on you," he said, "Nah, this is what he said. He said, I want you to start praying. Put your hands up and start thanking God. Start worshiping. Start praising him, thanking him, thanking him." I said, "Okay."
uh,
Phone dies.
Anything form of meditation will get you focused and will get you things due to the law of attraction. You know what I'm saying? So
and also,
this force
it seems like the whole time.
that you're speaking of.
Well, I want to say this for you all and for those who are watching. JP, you asked the question, how come God isn't doing X, Y, and Z for these children in Haiti? To give Taiwan gave you an answer based on testimony from his personal life. But another answer I want you to consider is, number one, you can't really expect for us to speak for God in that capacity. And for those viewing, just because you don't understand that doesn't mean God isn't real. And remember, yesterday we spoke about parables. If your children come to you and ask you for something, and you say no, or you ignore them, or you don't answer them, they don't understand that. And then you do that more and more, and they deny you and reject you, the relationship is tainted. But at the end of the day, I'm saying, just because you all don't understand something doesn't take away from the validity of it. And every time you don't understand something, it seems like you want to paint it as a false picture. And that is not logical, and it is not fair.
But all I can say, in our attempts to understand.
Okay, let me rebut. Let me rebut. You finished? Because I'm answer you.
Man.
You finished?
There you go.
Now you're making excuses.
What he do, yo? My bad, yo. What's up?
Look. Now you making excuses and you're making something too complex for God at a mass.
So no, I'm gonna cut you off.
You are making an excuse for a supreme being,
JP,
Almighty.
You gotta stop. How do you conclude that I made an excuse? How do you deduce or infer or conclude that I made an excuse?
Well,
because he's doing so wonderful. He's just doing so wonderful in your life. He's just doing so wonderful in your life.
What's it?
Great, and I'm doing great, and I don't come to him asking no one for prayer. I'm cool.
And my mistake.
But for the people who's fucked up, for the people
where's the excuse?
For the people. For the people who's messed up, it's people.
Yeah.
Yo, you back in?
Yo, my phone died, bro. I know you was in the middle of it. I just want to wrap it up what I was saying.
All right.
And y'all do what y'all do. You know what I'm saying? He was in the fever. We was talking about praying. He was like, put your hands up, start thanking God. I said, okay, start doing it. Right? So when he laid hands on me, bro, I felt the light come in, and I felt something dark go out at the exact same time the light came in. Mind you, my eyes was closed, and I saw it firsthand. And then I started trying to speak in tongues, and I was like, whatever. And I kept saying, it wouldn't let me talk. And then he put his hand on my stomach, right? He put his hand on my stomach, and I instantly started speaking. And when he took his hand off me, bro, I literally fell over on a bag of feet to where I couldn't stand up. And at the exact same time that I couldn't stand up, I felt like I could throw a brick wall. I felt that much power on me. My hands didn't stop shaking.
How you
I was like, bro, I'm about to tell you. And I said, bro, what did you do to me? He said, okay? I said, yeah. What did you feel? I said, bro, I felt something clean and I felt something dark leave out at the exact same time. And I felt I was walking out of the room, bro, and I kept feeling like I was floating away.
You did. We losing you, Ty.
And I asked him, what did you do to me? And he kept asking how you feel. And I was like, I feel good. I feel like I could hold a brick wall right now, and I could do it. At that moment, I felt weak at the same time physically. And ever since that day, bro, I believe.
It seems to me like you were doing all the work, and God was taking all the credit.
How?
You never felt that power within yourself?
See?
Never.
Yeah, can I say something?
Busting tears. Yeah, you pushing it to the limit.
Yeah. I've had a similar experience.
Do we got to do to get this man's attention, man? How much pleasing we got to do? Because obviously, the hungry child, he ain't looking in my direction.
But that's the thing. That's the problem. You trying. You don't have to try with God, bro. That's the problem that you thinking. That's the delusion that you thinking. All you have to do is receive it. It's a difference, bro. When I went to God, I could. He told me stop trying to please me. That's not
Stop
what it's about.
rejecting. Stop
It's
rejecting.
not. It's not about that. You trying to make God do something that He's not going to do. He already loves you, bro. He already did it for you. All you got to do is receive it. It's a free gift, Slim. It's not nothing you could do to please God. That's why you have that's why the Jews were so jacked up in the first place, because they kept trying to do stuff to try to make God do something that He had already done for them. He was feeding them already. He clothed them already. He made their shoes not wear out for 40 years while they walked around that mountain being stubborn,
Killed
because
them.
they
What are
kept
you
trying
talking
to do
about?
what they wanted to do.
He purposely killed them for 40 years. What are you talking about?
Because
That was
they
the
was
purpose to
hard
make them
headed.
walk for 40 years to kill off the generation.
But why do you? But if you believe that,
Come on, man. Let's not, man. You're giving
but
excuses
bruh,
for
but bruh,
you
bruh,
giving excuses.
but bruh, that's not an. You can't. I'm not giving excuses for my personal experience.
Oh,
That's
I'm
great.
not down your personal experience. But what I'm saying is,
But you doubting God though. God is the one that created the personal
how does
experience
that
in the
apply?
first place.
How does
So
your
hold on,
personal
hold on.
experience
So
apply
hold
to
on,
me?
hold on. Let's talk about that.
Somebody got echo.
We're not listen.
Ty
We're not gonna get
All right,
anywhere if
hold on,
everybody's
hold
talking
on,
over
hold
one
Can I
another.
say something?
Yeah,
Jesse's been very patient.
yeah, go ahead, Jesse. Yeah, he has asked 37 times.
So I had a very similar experience to this. We do got a lot of background going on from someone. Anyway, that's better.
No, I've had similar experiences in church too. I'm not going to. I was never. I never spoke in tongues, but I was able to understand them.
I've had
I felt a felt overwhelming spirit on myself.
Somebody's
Somebody's
watching
like
YouTube.
that. I've had overwhelming experiences where I knew that there was something outside of myself in myself. People. So I'm not
Yep.
going to be the one to discredit it or anything like that. I would offer the perspective to the non-believers or ex-believers that if we don't believe in anything else, we understand science and energy is very powerful. It doesn't go anywhere, but it can be elevated or it can be lowered. If we look at it that way, then maybe we can have at least a little bit more
With the Adam and Eve
common
story,
ground
what's
within
this?
this.
Hold on.
Adam and Eve.
Can I please
Adam
finish?
and Eve was talking about a personal.
Whoever on YouTube,
Oh,
turn
okay.
YouTube on.
So
What happened?
Whoever
the
watching
closest,
YouTube, cut it on.
the
No,
closest
you got
I've ever been to God is a couple times, but also a couple times psychedelics. And the lesson I took away is that you are entirely capable of creating that experience. It comes from within, because God is we are gods. We are God manifested inside the universe. And
100%.
Amen.
But what's the
so
source?
the source is the universe itself. We are part of
That's
the
the way.
universe that we're created.
Yes.
So let me ask you this. How come? Hold up there. How come nobody prays in the name of the universe though?
Well, they kind of
People
do.
pray directly to the universe. There
I
are
do.
some that do that. They speak to the
Who?
universe.
Me?
I do.
And what happens?
I do.
It
And
manifests itself in
whatever
our
I
life.
need to happen happens.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna tell you why.
So
Let me give you biblical reference. All right.
let's
Twice
get
in
it.
the Bible it says you are God because you're
Right.
children of the Most High.
Right. Exactly.
When the Bible said that God said, "Let us make man in our image and likeness," it didn't
Mhm.
just mean male and female. It meant that we have, well, my understanding, is we have all the properties of God within us, including
Right.
creation, including the
Right.
ability to speak power over our life
Right.
and move through that with our intention to get whatever it is that we need, to make whatever we want to make, to have whatever we want to have, and do whatever we want to do. We have
Right.
that
I
ability, and
agree.
that's through God. So when Jesse says universe, his definition of universe is the same as your definition of God. Everything that is, was, will be.
I just don't like to
Understand?
put
They just
either.
put it. They
He
just
just doesn't
put it
like
in
to
human
say the word
beings
God
form.
and limit that. So I mean, if that's just helpful for your understanding of what he means when he says
Nah,
universe.
So
I agree 100% with that statement.
so akin to what she just said, right? In reference to what the topic is, does God intervene? That so-called universe, where does Jesus fit into that? Because that's intervening.
Where does
And I
who
love you.
that?
Where does Jesus fit into that? Because that's intervening. That's God intervening in the affairs of man, basically.
So before we go
A
there,
bunch of people.
this is what we do. We skip and jump things. We're talking about, because when you ask about you want to go somewhere with that, but at the end of the day, the question is going to remain, and the question is, and we always ask this question: is God real? And
No,
as believers,
Wasn't the question.
okay. So hold on, let me finish. Y'all say that, but it's implied. We talk about what we
No,
believe
you
in the
inferred
first.
it.
Okay, inferred. So we talk
You
about
inferred it.
what we read and what we experience. So my question is, even if, and I posed it to the public earlier, just because you don't understand doesn't take away from the validity. But how do you discount someone's personal experience?
I didn't discount this personal experience.
You can't. There's no way.
There's no way I can.
I'm
But what I'm saying is,
Well,
His
why do you
personal
still
experience
doubt
was
God?
never doubted. I don't
Why
think
do you
that was
still?
part of
It
the
is when you
conversation.
discount God, when you discount the Bible and God, you're
I'm
discounting
discounting.
personal
I'm
experience.
discounting it based on common
No, I
sense.
just think it's all perception, man. He has his own perception based off of it.
That's not a perception. That was reality. That wasn't a perception. My perception of it initially was
No,
it's not real.
I'm talking. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying, bro. I'm saying King. It's his perception based off of understanding what it is. Like he can't tell you you're wrong, and you can't tell him whether he believes or he's right.
I could tell him that he's wrong because of my personal experience.
It doesn't mean it's
You can
true.
tell him that he's wrong, but you see, you speak it of it as fact. But because you don't
Yeah, it
understand,
doesn't mean it's
it's
true.
your opinion. Your opinion is
Yeah.
I
you're
didn't give
wrong.
no opinions. I didn't give no opinions. My
Right.
opinion,
No, no,
I
not
just
you,
gave
Ty.
facts.
Not you, Ty.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
just saying there's no way to know exactly what happened to the building that day.
You say
And
there's
Yeah,
no way.
it is exactly. It is a way to tell you exactly how it happened. I just broke down exactly how it
No, no,
happened.
no. From
well,
another person on the outside looking in, they can't look at you and say he welling, he lying, he ain't telling the truth. You know what I'm saying?
They
That's
can.
their opinion. That's
Yes, you
their
can.
opinion.
well,
Yeah.
Ty,
You
listen
can.
to what I'm saying.
Let me.
Nah,
Listen to
man,
what I'm saying.
but
you can have your
Your
own
I'm not
thought.
opinion,
denying your
You can
personal
say that.
experience
they
at
can
all.
say for a
Ah,
fact whether it's not true
well, not even
because
that.
they weren't there.
Sorry,
You see what I'm saying?
sorry. Not even
I
that,
got you.
but
I
it's
got you.
not. You can't say it's your version of God that caused that because there's a million different.
I mean,
We don't know what actually happened because from an outside perspective, you saw a and you spoke in
uh-huh.
tongues.
Yep.
Who's to say you know exactly what you talked to? Exactly what out there
It's
was communicating to you. Yeah, as much as you can
what.
believe it was one thing or another, there is no you have no way of knowing.
Well, the problem with that statement, bruh, is the fact of it says it in the word. Like this is what's supposed to happen, verbatim. You know what I'm
But
saying? You can wait. You can go to the book of Acts and see it happening. You can go throughout the New Testament. You can go out through the Old Testament. You said yourself you grew up in a Jewish home, correct?
I'll give you that. Hold on.
Right. So
One
with
second.
that being said, if you study, if you know Jewish history, right? And I'm not trying to delve into that topic. I'm still trying to stick on personal testimony when I'm saying this. But as a person that grew up in a Jewish home, right? That's something that y'all discussed at the dinner table. Am I correct? I'm not talking about the Holy Spirit, just the spirituality aspect of being Jewish or being Hebrew or whatever the case may be. There's a deeper level than just reading the book, of course, right? We understand that. But my point is, at the end of the day, you have personal experiences from your own upbringing that leads you right back to that word, right?
But Joe,
So that's
the
all I'm
only reason
saying.
you akin those personal experiences to your that you got from your upbringing is because you learned the Bible. Somebody taught you the Bible to you to even equate that to that.
yes,
So
you
without
can.
that Bible, what would you then equate that to?
Okay, let me explain. Let me break this part down to you. So, do you think that everybody that has that had an experience with God before the Bible, quote unquote, was written? Like, do you believe that they had personal experiences before there was a written word? Yes, they had personal experiences with God. You can go to Moses. You can go people that's been talking about this before the books were ever written, before they started writing things on tablets. You can go research your history all you want.
Then
It's
who's to
gonna keep
say?
coming back to the same thing, bro. I don't care what really, even the Quran and all of the Muslim people. Look at J Nick. He like, man, I'm bored with all.
No.
But like,
Hold up. No.
yeah, it's
Listen.
like no, it's
No.
hold. Let me finish. So the
Man, go
point of it
ahead,
is
young. I got nothing.
this thing has been the foundation of the world from day one, bro. Like I don't care
What was
what
the
religion you
Who's
study.
to
There's
say that
always
any one
been
person
what
a
was
got
the
it
state of
right?
higher
mind?
power. There's always been a higher power, bro.
Yes.
Every
I
quote unquote religion, every people. I don't care if you're
I
Japanese,
give you that.
Chinese. They all believe in a higher power. It's a reason behind that. So you mean to tell me, JP,
So
that all of these millions and billions of people that have had these experiences are wrong?
No, I'm
Based on
saying
something you read or in a Bible, or based on some situations that you went through in your personal life that didn't
That's
agree,
my
I'm
point.
not
that
disagreeing with your
didn't
personal
agree.
experiences. They had them. What I'm saying
That's
is
My
they
my
don't
point.
equate that
have
to
So
the
so
Bible.
you can't so you can't.
somebody
I'm
else's
saying
name though. So you
that's
can't say
true.
their
I'm just
experience is
saying
messed up. They praising in
no,
somebody else's name.
I'm not saying that their experiences is messed up. I'm just saying that they all agree that there is a God. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
Because
but
they
then
Whether
equate
where
they
is
that God to
God?
whether
the
they
Bible.
whether they praying to the right one or not is not my point in this statement. The
Okay.
point of it is they all believe.
Yesterday,
who's to
y'all
say any
niggas
one person
It
got it
works
right?
in either name you throw out there.
Who's to say
Either
that
name
any
you throw
one
out there,
person?
it works.
Who's to say that
From
any one
America,
person?
from Jesus,
Who
China got their shit.
who is to say that any
Everybody,
one
everybody,
person?
different geographical location has their God.
Somebody watch.
Y'all ain't gonna let nobody talk, man.
Somebody ain't watching on YouTube.
Who
God damn.
who is to say
Yeah.
any one
Who
person
got the
got it
right
right?
one, baby? Who got the right one?
Okay. Okay. Let me break this down to you. So
Oh,
y'all
let me
know.
hit just
Hold up, Kid. I want to ask him a question real quick. So, have y'all studied the testimonies of some of these Buddhist priests that have died and gone to hell and came back and said Jesus is real? Believe
Hell no.
The Christians have got it. Look it up. It's on YouTube. The same
How do
stuff
they
that
know
y'all
about?
look
How
at
do
on
they know about
YouTube.
Jesus?
What you mean? How do they know they died and came back to life? That's how they know.
Who's to say
It's
that
also
They
in
died
your
and
anyone?
had
it's
it.
also in their writings.
How they know,
Who's to
There's
say?
also
Huh?
Jesus in the writings
So they
too
were
in
taught
Southeast
Jesus
Asia.
before
No,
they
they were
died.
not. Not at all. They weren't. They didn't know nothing about Jesus. That's the whole point.
Who is
That's
They
to
didn't know
say?
who Jesus
so
was.
they,
I'm glad you there. Like I said, there are writings of Jesus. Remember, Jesse, we were talking about those missing years.
Yeah,
Those writings exist, and
Yep.
yeah.
they're in India and stuff like that. They called them by a different name
Yep.
because they had a different language, but it was very close.
You talking about
So
the one in
Yep.
India?
Ethiopia. Go to Ethiopia. Jesus lived
Ethiopia, go to
in
India.
Egypt.
You talking about the one in
Jesus
India?
lived in Egypt.
Say again.
Are you talking about the one in India? Yeah, I know about that one.
Yeah, right.
Emmanuel, he
So
was buried in India
Emmanuel,
somewhere.
after
He died at like
Jesus,
they
100,
they they,
like
they called
100
him
something like that.
himself.
hey,
and after Jesus, they talking
I
about.
want to hear Jesse's question. What question were you gonna
Um, I just want to say, who is to say that any one group got it right? because I think there's a piece of it in every single religion. You know, it's not one person saying we have the right answer. Everyone has a piece. And
But here's
when
the
you
problem.
put
Here's
the
the
bigger
problem.
picture
That's the
together,
reason why I said that. That's the reason why I said go research those people that died and came back to life. It's a little kid. He's a little white kid, right? His father is KK. His father was in the KKK, and this little boy died. This little boy died, right? And when he came back to life, he died and went to heaven, right? Mind you, he died, he was a little boy, so he wasn't at that age of reason yet. Okay, he wasn't accountable yet for the things that he had been being taught. Okay, he died and went to heaven, and he came back to life, and he asked his dad, first of all, he went to heaven and saw Jesus first and
Yeah,
foremost.
everybody was black.
Then he asked that, yeah, everybody in heaven was black. Heaven is run by black people, but I'm not saying that to make that point. I'm saying the fact that this little boy, who was a Christian, mind you, even though he was in the his dad was in the KKK, they still believe in Jesus. But at the end of the day, he died and went to heaven and came back and said, "Dad,
But
Jesus is
Well,
real.
look at what you just
Jesus,
said,
wait,
though.
wait, wait. Jesus is real. The point is, Jesus is real. Heaven is real. God is real, and we need to believe in Jesus. And why
But
is
hold on, hold on.
and
what color?
With that
What
story,
color
right?
he say Jesus?
The fact that little boy knows the difference between black and white, obviously he's been taught something. So he's been taught Jesus
I
and what
wouldn't know
heaven
what
is
color he
like.
was.
but that's not the point of that story though.
Oh, man.
That's not the point of that story. We talking about his personal experience.
I know,
I'm
but
not
what I'm
saying he didn't have a
saying though,
personal
if you
experience,
seen him,
but
I
he's
would like
been
to know
taught
what color he
something.
was.
I've almost died 3
If I
times.
seen
Like,
Jesus, I'd be like, man, he's a brother, man, or
I'm
he's a
just I'm
damn
just saying.
cracker. I
I've
wouldn't say
I've
which one.
almost died 3 times. Like to the point where
So you
I
telling
thought I was
me
dead.
someone who cast? Oh my bad. Go ahead.
I've seen some shit, and like seeing a white guy walking around what I thought of heaven would be the least weird thing that I saw when I died. You know, like dude, heaven is what you make it. You know, it's especially on the way out. If you've never had an experience like that, it's
You know what our problem is? Our problem is not putting our trust in black scholars. We always go to a white philosopher. We always go into a cracker story. How could you trust the same man that you known is from a KKK member who castrated your ancestors, and you trust the food that he's given to you? So you're gonna eat that shit.
Okay,
And
so
this where
JP,
here's my
here's my response to that.
Lay it out.
JP, if you don't trust that, go
what
to
go ahead.
the stories. Go to Africa. Go to listen to the stories of the Orishas and the Egyptian gods, the goddesses, and all of that type of stuff, and read those
Right.
things. And you tell me that those things are not similar to the same stories that people accept in the Bible. You
And
tell
that
me
and
that
that
those
and
are
that and
not.
that
You tell me that those are not
It is similar.
similar and same stories. So what's the difference?
so
So so my
JP, let
point
me
is
say
this:
this.
Look,
whether
look,
the
look.
stories are the same,
Okay.
Eddie Griffin said it best. Who gives a fuck about the messenger? Did you get the message?
Exactly. Thank you.
Okay. Excuse my language,
Get
but
the
if
message
you
from
got
what?
the message is the same throughout all of it.
So
You just have to
so
learn
JP,
how to interpret the
You don't get no
information
message.
so
You
that
don't
it's
get no message.
hey,
It's
can
gonna
I
go.
say
It's
this?
gonna go directly back to his man.
JP, can I say this? This is why tonight I wanted to talk about personal experience because your everything Chemezi and JP says is about the Bible. So what you discount, you say, why do we believe this stuff? Because we both read it and experienced. So it's not just about reading this in a book. We have lived this. We know what we've seen. We know what we've heard. We know what we've experienced. We're not just telling you
That's
about
bullshit.
what we just read in the book. We telling you about what we experienced as well. How do you discount that? I can tell you times God spoke to me and saved me. I can tell you about those.
What did
And
God
I can
sound like? What did God sound like?
And what language do he speak?
So hold on. Understand this. Understand this.
Come on, man.
Understand this.
Y'all
If
get
somebody
perception.
created
Y'all
you,
gonna be
right?
arguing about this shit all day.
If
Y'all
somebody
y'all
created you,
can't tell somebody else what they believe.
if God created you, He has made a way to communicate with you. He wants to hear from you. So He has to. Why are you laughing?
Yo,
Now we laughing at Jason.
yo, King, can you add
Damn,
my
what I
friend
do?
real quick?
What you say?
Falling out.
Yo, King,
Oh
can you
no,
add my friend real quick?
I was leaning back. I'm good.
Oh, so I'm saying God created. He made a way to communicate with us. So just because, how do you expect? How do you want? Matter of fact, this rhetorical. Just think about it. How do you want God to communicate with you? How do you think He's going to communicate with you? He has to come to your playing field. He has to find ways to meet you, just like when you communicate with your newborn baby. You're not going to use elaborate SAT words to communicate with them because they don't understand. You might point to something. You might suggest something. You might not use English language because they haven't grown and matured yet. The same way with God, you can't relate to His spirit yet because you haven't grown there. So in the meantime, He has to find minuscule ways. Yeah, that's an SAT word to communicate. But you, at the end of the day, you put all your focus on what we read from the Bible, and though it is true, you negate our personal experience. And you cannot.
Who negated your personal experience?
You don't know if it's true because you don't know where it came
No
from.
one has ever said that you didn't have an experience. I want to be very clear about that.
So hold on.
Let's
No
one has ever said
Let's talk about logic.
that you did not have a personal
Markel, you can't
experience.
get to the subject.
What their
man.
question
Let's go to this logic.
what that experience is, and how do you know it is what you say it is?
Let's go through this logically, right? We're believers in the Bible. We believe what the Bible says. We've experienced what the Bible says. You continue to challenge that Bible, which means you challenge our experiences and our beliefs. That's how you discount our personal experience.
No.
To ask a question does not mean to challenge, to say that you're wrong. They're asking a question for more information. What is your understanding?
Remember, we started from the beginning. He said his agenda is to show that, or they keep questioning why we believe the Bible and show that this is a lie and we should not believe.
Right.
No.
So you discount.
That's what you said.
Basically,
Oh my God, that's exactly what he said.
We're trying to add new information so you think about it in a different way.
Because everybody's purpose in this conversation is not the same.
Right.
JP is here, the black man, that says you're wrong. Own it. That is what it is.
Right.
King said what he wants to do is introduce you or remind you of your African history and culture, and to give you a perspective on the Bible and where it came from as it relates to African history and culture, so that you may have a different outlook. You can choose to take it or not. If I'm wrong, is that not what you said?
That's what I said.
Okay.
So watch this. Let's not be clear. You believe the Bible is a lie, right?
Who?
I see it. I see it. Well, let's say lie is a strong word. Right? Let's say
Backtracking.
It's plagiarized. It's plagiarized.
Plagiarized.
I think there's a lot of stuff in
Can
there.
everybody hear me on my mic?
Yeah, there you go.
Can I ask a question about what he was talking about earlier? So, do you read the Bible or do you read the Torah?
Who you talking to?
I don't know everybody's name, so he's talking about
Okay, there is wicked echo.
experiences. How you cannot relate to the experience because it's not something that you experienced or whatever. Who was that?
She must be talking about Chidi.
Maybe, yeah. I kind of jumped in kind of late. So if he's talking about that and he wants to talk about race, which indirectly is what it's about, you cannot honestly say that you follow Christianity. Christianity came after Judaism, which Judaism was the early version of it. And if you want to go by nationality, that's probably what you should be looking into or following, I guess, in a sense. Have you looked into it yourself, or?
Kitty, have you looked into Judaism?
Mm-hmm.
You say Christianity came before Judaism?
No, Judaism came before.
Yeah, Judaism started.
Also, interesting little thing. So, and I know you guys are talking about the Ethiopians. The Ethiopians actually had a Bible that has tons of books that were never published into the actual Bible. So technically, you're missing about half the text.
Correct.
Which is massive. Also, I can kind of agree with some of the stuff everyone has said. Like, I live in Georgia. And I kind of am the kind of person that thinks you should be realistic when you look into these things, and religion's a very touchy subject for everybody. But there is, if you guys look into the Etowah Indian Mounds, which is here in Georgia, if you've read the Ethiopian Bible or the Book of Enoch, which I like the Book of Enoch, it was one of my favorite books. He does talk about the Nephilim vaguely. They did actually excavate real skeletons that were between 12 to 14 feet tall that were actually here in Georgia, that were taken from the grave burial sites. So that part is also true. So I can
That's in your Bible.
Yeah.
That's in the Bible, people.
So,
historical record.
I gotta go. But I just want to say this to everybody and those watching as well. And you don't have all the answers, which is why you understand it. But just because you don't understand something, just because you don't understand something doesn't mean something is to it. I just believe in my heart that y'all just need to keep digging, keep asking questions. You're gonna run right into God. He's gonna get y'all those revelations. Or just like you said, maybe you can go do something for the community behind all of this. What'd you say?
You always go out every time I have questions, man.
Say it again.
I'll answer your question.
All right. No, I had the questions. I'm ready for the questions because the show about to close out anyway.
What question?
All right, okay. All right, y'all ready for the questions? All right, should a killer who I'm about to say it. Should a killer who genuinely repents go to heaven?
Yes. Next question.
Should a kind-hearted non-believer be forced to burn in hell for all eternity?
He's a sinner. The Bible clearly states anyone that does not have the Father, does not have the Son, is going to hell.
What do you do to sin?
It has nothing. Okay, let me ask you. Hold on. Let me answer your question. Have you lied?
So hold on.
Chidi, have you lied?
Oh yeah, I have.
Okay, have you cheated?
In some ways, yeah.
I ain't saying. Okay, have you lusted?
Yeah.
And you still a good person, right?
Yeah.
You still a good person, right? So with all of those things being said, that makes you a sinner whether you're a good person or not.
So let me get this straight. When a baby is born,
I'm answering your question. Let me answer your question.
You're right. In your religion, you're right. But hold on.
Let me answer the question. That's not religion. That's not religion, bro.
Hold on. Okay.
That's not religion.
Let's absolve religion.
That was there before Christianity. That was before Judaism. That was before Islam. All of that was there before any religion, bro.
Let's absolve religion, right? When you're born, what did you do to sin?
I'm sorry?
What did you do? When you're born, what did you do to sin? What did you do to sin?
You lied.
at birth.
When you said, how do you lie? At birth?
Oh, let me.
Hold on. Who said babies go to hell?
Oh, let me stop.
Nah, let's not do that. Nah, let's not do that.
No. Who said babies go to hell? No, I don't know no babies in hell.
You said you're telling me I'm born a sinner.
Nobody said babies go to hell. Yeah.
What did I do to sin? At birth, what did I do to sin?
Hold on one second. Hold on.
Jason's question
I got you.
Nah,
I'm about to
nah,
get
that's
off.
not.
He
That's
actually
not.
wasn't saying you were born
Let's
into.
skip that
Hold
question
on.
because I want to know what after what he just said. If I'm born into sin, what did I just do to sin when I'm born?
Ty, don't answer that. Ty, don't answer that. Hold on a second.
Dad, don't answer that. Don't. What do we don't
Ty
answer?
admitted.
Answer
I
it.
got an answer for you though. I got an answer
Ty,
for you though.
And I
but
want,
Nick,
I
I
want
got an
to
answer for
Wow,
you.
man. You can say
want
don't
him to
answer
say
this
don't
question.
answer
hey
this
Nick,
question and
but
another
Nick, you
believer
trying to
Hold on.
because there's no way in hell
Okay,
two
I'm
believers
almost done. About to
can
get
be
off,
on
man.
the
This is
no,
broken
but
already.
let me
same
answer
page.
your question because your question is unfair and it is misleading. You asked
Misleading
No,
because
no,
me
that's
say
not
that.
a
Listen to
direct
him.
question.
Listen.
Come on.
Hold on.
Listen,
Hey,
y'all want to get an answer on
Montreal, I
that?
love you to
you
death, cuzzo.
You're born
hold
into
on,
sin.
hold
The
on,
question
hold
gets
on,
to be true.
hold on.
So,
When you
so y'all want me to
ask
answer the
those two
question?
questions, when you ask
Wow.
those questions, you ask those questions in case by case scenario instead of asking the overall principle. The overall
Oh my
principle of
God.
the question is how does any individual get to heaven or hell? Instead of saying if one does this or one does that, why do they go to heaven? Why do they go to hell?
The
So
reason why hell concept was created so you can go
now
to
we're
their
not
God.
talking about that. We're
You
talking
don't
about
want
your question.
people afraid. People
Your
afraid of
question
hell.
said
I
your
think
question
that
said
question was asked, man, to find gaps and holes within what the overall is.
Right.
Because
So
if the
can I
overall
answer
has
it?
gaps and holes, it can't necessarily be 100% true. So that's what he was
Nah,
trying to
man.
figure out.
Yeah, he's
say
trying to
that
figure
again.
that
Hold
out,
on,
but at the
J Nick, say that again.
I
I
want my
said
question
when
answered.
he's asking questions about specific parts of the overall, he's trying to find some kind of conclusiveness to it, seeing if it's 100% fact or if there's little bit of gaps in between that story.
So
well, let me
that's
answer the question.
so that's why I
Let me
said
answer the
his
question.
question. That's why I said his questions were properly shaped because the
I
question
mean,
is
huh?
the
Can,
question
hey,
is
hey,
how does
Kale.
one get into heaven or how does one get into hell? Instead of saying this, does he go to heaven? Or if one does that, how does he go to hell?
But I'm
No,
born into it. I would like to know
no,
how.
no.
First of all, if I'm going to heaven or
You're
hell,
trying to get better
I'm
You
going.
get better understanding, man, that way.
I like
Like
to know how
Okay,
sometimes you
so
gotta ask in between.
Say it again.
so
Who, me?
y'all want me to answer the question or what?
please.
Let me recap just
Okay.
so that everybody's clear. JP, what was your question specifically, please?
Right. All right. Should
Everybody
kind
moderated.
okay. Listen up, cause y'all didn't twist up the question and everything. All right. So, should a kind-hearted non-believer be forced to burn in hell for all eternity?
No.
And Taiwan, your answer was what?
My answer was if they committed sin by lying, cheating, stealing, murdering, all of that stuff, and they don't have Christ as their Lord and Savior, yes.
Okay. What
Nobody
if
likes it.
My question comes
It's
into
not.
play.
Let me finish. Let me finish. We're not. I'm not saying that I agree with that because I'm looking at it like I'm a good person too. But I know for a fact that I have lied. I know how I've done so many wrong things in my life as a good person that in reality, without him, I know I'm going to hell, flat out.
Okay, so let me
And
ask
it's
you
no
this.
force. You have the choice whether you
For
go to heaven or hell.
That's right.
okay.
You
Okay,
choose.
So
fair
you
enough.
so
So
you're
listen,
saying
let me ask this as a follow-up. A person who has not been exposed to God through Jesus,
Right.
do
I
they
like this.
still
I
are
like
they still bound by those laws?
That
Because
part I don't have an answer
so
for. I
hold
don't
on.
know.
Let me explain that one. So hold
you know
on.
what? For the very
So
first
hold on.
time
That
in
doesn't
my
mean.
conversation,
Let me explain.
and last night,
Wait.
in some no. You have never I have never heard anyone so far say, I don't know, and I appreciate you for that.
Yeah, I'm a real
So
dude. Wait. Let me explain something to
So
y'all
hold
real quick.
on. Hold on.
Let me
Answer to that.
wait. Wait,
Answer
Kale.
to that question.
Hold up, Kale. Let me explain myself. Let me explain myself why I say I don't know. First of all, I don't have a heaven or hell to put you in, so I can't give you that answer. But I do know for those people that have heard and have been invited and have been constantly like you, brother Chidi. I mean, I know you probably had some experiences like, but at the end of the day, bro, you live around Christians, right? You talk to Christians. If that ain't God trying to pull your coattail to say, hey, bro, holler at me, real facts. Like that's a prime example of a good person. Because I don't think you're a bad guy. I don't think nobody on here is a bad person or is misguided or
Right,
lost. Like, you know what I'm
right.
saying? But at the end of the day, you have a choice. You have a choice to make, bro, and you have to choose. You have to make the right decision at the end of the day,
And
and that's what it really boils down to. Once you become at that age of reason, where you can make life decisions for yourself, you have a choice, and then it becomes an obligation to say yay or nay. And if you constantly saying nay, what do you really think God is going to do? You tying His hands behind His back, because He
But
said it from day one when Adam was created, that when Adam and Eve ate that fruit, or whatever the case may be, man was physically and mentally and spiritually cursed from that point on, right?
God
So
cursed them.
that's the reason. Wait. But that's the reason why you were born in iniquity. That's the reason why you were born into
and
sin.
Ty, let me
Not
add
But
this.
because of,
God made
not, wait,
himself.
wait, wait, wait,
He
wait.
was born in iniquity.
Not because, let me explain it to you. Not because of something that you actually did yourself. It's something that was handed down through the generations in your bloodline and my bloodline.
Huh.
Everybody
Well,
on
yeah,
here has
according
that
to Adam and
same
Eve throughout the
bloodline.
Bible,
So
right?
at the
Use an
end of the
excuse,
day,
man. You
that's
use an
not an
That,
excuse.
excuse.
That's
and
facts,
and let
bro.
me add this too,
That's
Danielle.
facts.
Excuse.
Danielle.
The answer
No,
Danielle.
number
second.
one, number one.
Danielle.
When you say
The first thing
bloodlines and
that.
all that stuff, you're admitting God made a mistake. That's number one.
So hold on.
No, I'm saying man made a mistake. That's what I'm
No,
saying. I'm not
God
saying
made a
God made
mistake.
a mistake at all.
God
God
made
made a
Adam and
mistake.
Eve.
Number two, God purposely, from what if you can see the future and omnipresent, all that stuff, He purposely put the tree there for them to fail. Right or
So
wrong?
hold
So,
on.
I don't think
so
that's
did,
fair.
Danielle.
I don't think that's
did
fair.
Adam and Eve have a choice? Did Adam and Eve have a
If you know they're
choice?
gonna eat that fruit, if you're some quote unquote
But
omnipresent, you know they're gonna eat that fruit. Why even put
but
the
did
tree there?
Adam and Eve have a choice? That's the question. Did they have a
He
choice?
knew.
Did they
Okay,
choose to
in
eat
the
it,
story, right?
or did He
I'm
make
gonna
them
agree
eat
with
it?
you on this one. In the story,
They chose to eat
it
it. That's
was
not His
they were
fault.
given the
The fact that
option.
this is a
Now,
conundrum in
if
itself
he
is
Hey,
put
excuse
no,
me,
let me listen.
Danielle.
Oh
Danielle,
no.
Yeah,
you asked
We
the
ain't gotta
question.
understand it, bro. But it is what it is.
Danielle,
But
Danielle
God,
asked the
God
question.
avoided the temptation though by putting that motherfucker there.
why would you do it?
Hey, oh, hold on, time out. Y'all getting off topic. Danielle
How?
asked
No,
the
the
question.
topic is because God intervened.
Hold on.
That's on topic.
Danielle
okay,
asked
okay.
the question for a person who has never heard. You all, JP, the reason I want to answer it, JP and Chitty, you all have asked me this before. If Jesus is coming back, what is He waiting on? The reason, the answer to your question, Danielle, Bible says He's going to come back when everyone has had a chance to receive Him. So there are people in remote places who have never heard of Jesus. So He's giving, remember, He's fair. He's giving time to share Him with His people. So He's giving, just like you all are saying, He's making provision for you all to come to Him.
Are you serious?
Okay, no, okay, no.
That's the reason why we on this phone right now, bro. This is your
Okay,
provision. This is your opportunity.
Are
Yeah.
you serious? We've been in this opportunity
Real
for
facts.
2,000 years, and you're telling me we still gotta wait 2,000 more years? Another
Time
day,
out.
another
Who
second, another
said
month? Come on, man.
Markel.
2,000 years is long enough. Bring your ass back.
Time out. Kel, my question to you is this, because you answered it in part. What about those
about who?
who have gone? I said, what about those who have gone before? They never had that opportunity. They have somewhere to go when they die. Yes or no?
You talking about people who passed before Jesus came?
No, people who passed after Jesus came but never received the word, never heard it, never were exposed to
God
it.
said you're accountable for what
Hold
you
on.
know. You're
Time out.
accountable for what you know. So if you
Let
are
me make
not,
this
you
clear.
do not know anything, you're not
Is
accountable.
your name Kel?
Therefore, you're involved in the sin that you said before.
That's a loophole like shit.
So
Your
why
question,
do you
your
want them to
Sounds
have?
like a law like
Danielle
that.
is assuming that these people didn't
But in
have the
Section
word.
A, Part C, Section C, nah,
But
come
just
on,
like
man.
you say born, you're born a sinner. God.
How am I? What did I do to be born a sinner?
Because you're not God.
What did I do? You have from what I have to understand a sin.
Okay,
You have to
okay,
sin. What did I do to sin? I don't care now.
Hey, y'all.
Calling to sin is not sinning.
Hey y'all.
Calling to sinning is not sinning. No.
Hey y'all. I gotta rock too, man. I gotta get off here, man.
Right or wrong?
There's nothing.
Murder is not murder, right? Okay. So what did
Hey JP.
I want to hear that shit.
I gotta holler at you, dog. I'll catch you on the next one, bro.
All right.
You're.
All right.
Take it easy.
Y'all be safe, man. Be blessed, man. I love all y'all, man. Real talk, man. Y'all be good. Please be safe, man. It's a real world out here. And man, you know, keep discussion going, man. Y'all doing something powerful, man. I pray that everybody got something out of this, man. And you know, it make you really think, man. I'm glad y'all coming with y'all questions, and there are answers out here, man. You just got to be able to receive the answers when they come and take it for what it is. That's the only thing that I would say, man. If you have a question and you get an answer, take the answer for what it is, man. Like, you know, don't have a question and then when you get the answer, then try to discredit the answer. If it's coming from somebody that's really knowledgeable and has had personal experiences that can really show you what the real deal is. We can talk about the Bible all day, but you can't discount personal experiences with the Creator. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, love y'all, man. Y'all be safe. Peace and blessings to you, all right?
All right. Take care.
All right.
All right.
So, once again, classic buck dancing. You know what I'm saying? But
So, can we have the part 2 where we have an actual conversation again?
we'll do that offline. But the intensity.
Oh,
the intensity
you want to have
was
real
good. We got
conversations
a
offline? What the heck?
film, so you know.
Yeah, I had a question I didn't get to ask.
What's your
Go for it.
question?
I mean, it was gonna be towards my cousin in Taiwan, but it was just mainly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of. I'll try to ask this one if I have time on y'all next call. But I wonder, do they believe based off of fear of what could happen, or do they just believe because of, you know, they believe it's true, and do they believe it's true based off of the fear of what could potentially happen? So
That's
I just
a
wanted to
good
get
ass
their viewpoint on
question.
that.
I think
Because
that's a fair question.
I hear a lot of a lot of people who try to convince me into following a religion. It always boiled down to that, you know, you can't get to heaven Jesus. And I said, well, you know, do I have to believe in Jesus? Why do I have to believe in Jesus? Why can't I just believe in a spiritual being? And they said, well, God won't accept you because of that. And if you're still trying to go around believing in Jesus, then what you're doing is pretty much a fallacy, and you're still gonna go to hell no matter how good you are. Right. So listening to that and hearing that, and then talking to them and asking them, it's a lot of fear when I hear a lot of their rebuttals and a lot of their conversation. It's I don't want to go to hell, or, you know, I have to believe in God. You know, God is merciful. God is this, and words. You know, those aren't words saying I believe in Him because I believe in Him. It's because of an action that may occur if I don't believe in Him. So I just wanted to hear what their views were behind that.
You see, because I feel like everything is based in intention, you know, and like at least the message I've got from, you know, whatever existence is sending me is that, you know, if you're doing anything to get a reward at the end of it, it's already tainted, you know. You're not doing it for the action itself, and I think enjoying the action of life is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Goes back to volunteering too. Like if you volunteer just to get some accolades, are you really doing it to help people? You're doing it for accolades.
Exactly.
So you're right.
That's a good question.
Right. So yeah, classic buck dancing at its finest. Once again. You know.
We gotta have a moderator or something, man, next time, because you got people telling people what they can't say. I know. You saw what I tried to say. We got a moderator in the building, but you know, I don't know. I just think that it's not going to get anywhere. The way that we going back and forth is great information, but getting anywhere until we have somebody that can kind of mediate something.
Right.
Because it's just a lot of people talking, and it's a lot of good points, but nobody's getting a chance. Like,
give it a timer.
and
Get your point across, bubble point, bullet points, make it quick.
If I was born into this world, how am I a sinner already? You know, like that wasn't an invalid question. That's trying to understand, okay, this overall concept, there's bits and pieces I want to know. You can't fill these gaps for me. How can I believe in overall? So, you know, they should have let that question kind of come out and be answered.
Is there any way to make it so,
you know, it's getting good though, man.
Is there any way to make it, going off of Megan's idea, so where we could have like a system where like we queue, like, you know, if you want to talk, you like type in like a letter or something.